Hello, everybody, and welcome to the New Flame Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Andrew, and today I will be breaking down and giving you my opinion on the 6 wildcard games this year, starting with the blowouts and then going on to the better games of the weekend. Let's start with Patriots and Bills. I mean, look, the Patriots just did not play good, and if you honestly expected Mac Jones, a rookie QB, to go into Buffalo and win a playoff game, you're insane. Bills Mafia is one of the best fans in the league. They had the GOAT Ryan Fitzpatrick show up for the game. So I mean, it's just the Bills dominated this game, and I don't see why they wouldn't have. I mean, I thought it would have been like at most like a 15 or 17 point game, but not a 30-point game like it was. Bills fans went crazy after the game, knocking out their biggest rival, and honestly, looking forward for next year for the Patriots, you gotta go after wide receivers and maybe another elite corner and a pass rusher to help improve your team next year. But obviously, I personally don't like where the Patriots are going. They're going to be good again, but as a football fan, I like where they're going. I think they're going to be good moving forward. I think they have the QB in Mac Jones. Moving on to the Chiefs-Steelers game. Look, as much as it was nice to see Big Ben make the playoffs for one last time, we all knew that this game was not going to be close. And while the Steelers kept it close for the first quarter, by halftime, that game was over. I mean, I think it was like 21-7 at halftime, and Chiefs had like 300 total yards, and the Steelers had 45. The only reason they scored was because of a T.J. Watt fumble recovery for a touchdown. Unfortunate that Big Ben had to go out like this, but, we all saw it coming, and honestly, it'll bring me to something that I bring up at the end of the video. The 7th seed has to go. They're just so bad, man. Moving on to the next blowout game, Rams and Cardinals. Matthew Stafford after 13 years, man. Imagine being in the league for that long and not having a postseason win. I saw a stat today. It was like, since Stafford won a playoff game, the most yards in the regular season without a playoff win is now Andy Dalton. And, I mean, just a weird stat that I saw. But, look, the Cardinals played awful. Kyler Murray was just not good at all. That pick six he threw, he was hard to watch the Cardinals this week. And it's just, but moving forward for both of these teams now, the Rams got to go to Tampa Bay to play the Bucs, which is not going to be an easy game for them. Cooper Kupp was actually kind of held in check for what he's been able to do this year. Only 5 for 61 and a touchdown. OBJ had a good game, including a 40-yard pass to Cam Akers, who, by the way, in this game played amazing, coming off just the Achilles tear just 5 months prior. Just crazy that guy's back already. But Manning cast was great, as always, the last one of the season. They had The Rock on it out. He was funny. For the Cardinals now, really just beef up that offensive line. I know you got Rodney Hudson last year, but the Rams D-line just feasted on Kyler Murray on Monday, and they just did not look good. But, both of your running backs are going to be free agents, Chase Edmonds and James Conner. So do you want to bring one back, both back, none back? So that'll be a big question for them heading into the offseason. I also believe Christian Kirk is a free agent. He's a good, and AJ Green, they're good, depth wide receiver pieces. So it'll be interesting who all they re-sign in the offseason. And for the Steelers, I forgot to talk about this, but obviously you're going to need a QB. I don't think drafting one in the first round with your pick, it'll be like the 18th, 19th pick, something like that. You would have to trade up like 3 or 4 picks to get a guy like Matt Corral or Kenny Pickett, who I think would both be great in Pittsburgh. Very like scrambling QBs that, are crazy athletic, that can make any throw, can run with anyone. at the QB position, except for maybe like Lamar and Kyler, but whatever. But for them also, that offensive line is atrocious. It has been for like the past 2 years, so you need to get a new offensive line, a QB, and really, I mean, that defense was good, but except for this past week, they were good the regular season, but maybe just getting an elite corner also would not be the worst idea in the world. I like their pass rush, I like everything else about that defense, they just need some corners now. And now we go to the Buccaneers and Eagles. Look, the Buccaneers, they were arguably the second best team this season, and the fact that they had to play the 7th seed and the Eagles we all knew that the Bucs were going to destroy them, by 15, 16 points like they did, and, you know, Tom Brady looked good. I mean, this was practically another tune-up game for them, because the 7th seed has to go. I'll talk about that later, like I said, but they just have to go. They're so bad. And the fact that they have to go against the second best team in the conference, that's like practically an easy win. But whatever. Talk about that later. But the Buccaneers, like I said, it was practically another tune-up game for them, much like the Chiefs against the Steelers as they get ready for their second-round matchup against the Rams. And moving forward for the Eagles now, I really do think I like where this team is going. You're going to need another wide receiver. You can't just rely on Devonta Smith bailing you out every single time. I like Dallas Goedert as your tight end. Upgrade your O-line a little bit, and you know, just kind of get a better pass rush. I think your secondary is alright, could be a little bit better, but I think if you can get another great pass rusher in there to go up with Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham, guys like that, that would be a really good decision for them. Now, over the weekend, we only had 2 close games that were actually entertaining to watch. Start with the Raiders and Bengals first. This game was close. I wasn't able to watch it because I had to work for a little bit, and, you know, but, you know, Raiders-Bengals, this game was good. You know, from the fourth quarter, Raiders started making a comeback. You know, late in the entire fourth quarter, they were kind of just, like, changing scores, you know. Bengals went up 20-6, but, at one point, but Raiders came back, made it 20-13 at halftime, and, but yeah, it was 26-16, then the Raiders got a field goal, then, you know, Raiders got a field goal, they got a 3-and-out for the Bengals, and then on the final drive for the Raiders, they got down to the goal line, or down to the 11-yard line, or whatever it was, and threw a pick, unfortunately, for Derek Carr, and just, I really do like this Bengals team. Jamar Chase played great, like always. Burrow, 2 touchdowns, no picks, 244 yards. Mixon was not the best, in this game, only 17 for 48 yards, not so great. Like I said, Jamar Chase, 9 for 116. Uzama had a touchdown. Tyler Boyd had a touchdown. And, just overall, really good game for the Bengals. Their defense played well. Now, I do think, yeah, Josh Jacobs had a really good game in terms of just, like, rushing the ball, 13 for 83. But I think for next week, for the Bengals, their D-line is going to have to show up. Trey Hendrickson's going to have to carry them, because you got to go up against the best running back in the league, and that's Derrick Henry. And I understand he's coming back from a toe injury, but that man is something else. He doesn't care that he's coming off an injury. And you saw what Cam Akers can do coming off a torn Achilles in 5 months last night. You know, what knows what Derrick Henry can do when just a broken toe in, like, 2 months he was out. He cleared the contact test today, so we'll talk about that later. But Raiders moving forward now. Look, I think you guys have a great head coach in Rick Bicascia, or Bicascia, I think his name. Yeah, Bicascia, I don't know. But after Gruden resigned, I think he was great for them. If you didn't see it, go read about it. After the game, he wrote every single play on that roster, a handwritten note. Just shows that his dedication to that team is just something else, man. and he truly respects everyone on that team, and elevates them to another level. But in terms of roster construction, look, I really like your QB. I really like Darren Waller. I like Josh Jacobs. You need another wide receiver to go up to pair up with Hunter Renfrow, maybe like a fast guy, kinda. Hunter Renfrow is not the fastest of players, but your defense has got to improve. Trevon Mooreg and the other rookie DB you drafted weren't horrible this year. They're actually pretty good. And just get more pass rushers up there with Mad Max Crosby, who's great, and Carl Nassib, who's really good this year. And just overall, that defense has got to improve. You got a few good pieces on there already, like Nassib, Max Crosby, and guys like Trevon Mooreg. But if you can add another just elite pass rusher and a really good cornerback, I think this Raiders team could make a run at the Chargers next year, who are already looking like they're going to be really good. And the best game from Super Wildcard Weekend, 49ers and Cowboys. 49ers barely squeak it out 23-17. And before we get into that crazy ending, let's just talk about this for a second. The Cowboys had 14 penalties. Do you really expect a team to win with 14 penalties? All these salty Cowboys fans like, oh, we should have won. You had 14 penalties. You cannot win with 14 penalties. That is awful. But talking about the game, I was able to watch most of it, not all of it, but early on, it looked like the 49ers had complete control. It was 16-7 at halftime. They were looking really good. Dak Prescott wasn't playing super great, besides from that last touchdown drive that they had. But they put together a couple good drives near the end of the first half, and into the second quarter. But 49ers go up 23-7 after a Dak Prescott interception by Kavon Williams, I think. Kavon, something like that. Williams, and then it got interesting. Jimmy throws an interception to start the fourth quarter. Pretty much. And Cowboys score, and then a couple punts later, a punt from the 49ers. Cowboys got to go for it on fourth down. Crazy play by Dak. He was scrambling out and then just bombed it up to Cedric Wilson off his back foot. And when I watched that live, I was like, oh, I was like, oh no, and my mom asked, was like, oh, what happened? I was like, oh, Dak threw a horrible pass. And then I got a replay of it. I was like, oh no, that was actually a really good pass. It was just that Cedric Wilson slipped. So he slips. 49ers get it back. Cowboys fans thinking it's over. But you have some sort of hope. You have a couple timeouts. The 49ers run the ball on third and 7, I think it was. Debo gets the ball on a handoff, goes up, tries to get the first down, but is barely stopped. It took like a 5-minute review. It was crazy. My dad and I, the entire time, we were like, did he get it? To me, it looked like he got it, honestly. I don't really think the Cowboys should have had a chance to win it anyways, but according to the refs, he got it. And then the Cowboys, with a minute left, or whatever, or 30 seconds, whatever it was, 40 seconds. First play, the pass to Wilson, then to lateral to Lamb. That was a great play. Then the play to Pollard, then the Schultz play, and then here's where it gets interesting. Dak Prescott, with 14 seconds on the clock, no timeouts, decides, you know what? This is a great play. I'm gonna run up the middle and slide with 5 seconds left. Like, I'm sorry, you don't have any timeouts. Like, what were you gonna do? And I understand you're like, well, they were guarding the sidelines, they were playing deep. You can make up all these excuses you want, Cowboys fans, but that was just, he should have slid earlier, Because the whole thing about Mike McCarthy was like, would you rather run a Hail Mary from the 50 or 5 verticals from the 25 or whatever it was? And I was like, yeah, but what about actually having a shot to win at the 35 and with a 5 verticals play? Like, that's just as good and that's just as viable. And just the fact that Dak went down with like 6 seconds left, he could have gotten 15 yards, went down. Umpire would have been right there to been able to touch the ball, and then they would have been able to get it spiked with like 1, 2, 3 seconds left on the clock, and we wouldn't have this situation. And Cowboys fans would have been like, "Oh, we lost." Fans go, I mean, probably not knowing Cowboys fans, but whatever. Yeah, Dak's just got to make a better decision to go down sooner. I understand he had all that green grass in front of him at AT&T Stadium. It doesn't matter. You know you're not going to have enough time if you slide down with 6 seconds left, because everyone was running out to the end zone, and Dak should have known that the umpire has to touch the ball. And the fact that he just set it down, and, that was like, Dak, come on. You should know better. You've been in the league for like 5 years now. You should know this now. So, just an absolutely crazy ending to that one. And to make it all better, it was on Nickelodeon. Gotta love it. But, anyway, yeah, 49ers move on to the Lambeau Field to play against the Green Bay Packers. And moving on for the Cowboys now, moving forward here, for what they should be doing the next next year. Definitely improving that secondary. I know your defense was fantastic this year, but Trevon Diggs is not good, like I've stated plenty times before. Getting a better secondary, getting some better safeties, some true safety, because they have Keanu Neal and the other dude, the other DeMonte KZ, but they're more of like sub linebackers. They hit hard and they play linebacker more often than safety. So, getting a really good safety, and also even and I know this isn't going to happen, but getting a better running back than Zeke. Zeke is he's just not good anymore. I mean, I hate to say it. I hate for this to be another Todd Gurley situation. Dude pops off the first 3 years of his career, gets paid the bag after his rookie contract, and then falls off the face of the earth. But that's what's happening right now with Zeke. He played great first 2 years of his career, got his money from Jerry Jones, and now has fallen off a cliff. But yeah, for the Cowboys, definitely I have no problems with that offense except for your running backs, and getting a better secondary is definitely going to be what you guys are going to have to do. And so, just like that, all of the divisional playoff games are set. The full schedule here, we have the first game of the weekend, Bengals and Titans at 3:20 p.m. Central Time on Saturday. Then 49ers Packers at 7:15 on Saturday. And then on Sunday, you have the Rams and Bucks at 2 p.m. This is all Central Time, by the way. And then Bills and Chiefs at 5:30. And then, so yeah. Those are the 4 games. My picks will be coming out in a couple of days, probably on Friday, would be my guess. Maybe Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon type of deal. I don't really know. But, yeah, but like I said, talking about that 7 seed, how do I put this lightly? It was good for last year because it gave the chance that maybe, a team got a huge COVID hit and had to, couldn't play and couldn't have all these starters for 2 games, and, they went 0-2. That could cost a team multiple games in the standings, okay? And I was like, okay, that's fine, I understand that. But still, the Bears last year were awful. They did not deserve to get in the playoffs, and it showed when they had to play the Saints. Also, it's just, and then the Colts, I thought last year were actually deserving of a playoff spot. Dolphins deserved it more, but I digress. Colts were actually good last year, and they played a great game against the Bills last year, so I'm fine with that. But the 2 7 seeds this year, they were awful. The Steelers, I mean, they're just so bad. They don't deserve to be in the playoffs, and I understand COVID was still a thing this year, but you can get vaccinated and make your time on the COVID list shorter and all that. And so I think the 7 seeds got to go. Look, they're 0-4 now combined in the playoffs. You have the Bears and Colts last year, and then the Eagles and Steelers this year. And am I saying that, like, these teams are, like, the worst teams in the league? No. They obviously are good enough to be the 7th seed in the NFL, in their conference, I mean. But it just shows when they have to play that they just don't deserve a playoff spot. And, like, I understand it sets up for, like, more money for the owners, but, like, would you rather the fans be like, I understand the fans are like, yeah, more games, but you're just like, after halftime, watching the Steelers-Chiefs game just was not entertaining. Other than, like, Big Ben's last 2 drives where he threw a touchdown. Then also the Eagles-Bucks game, we had it on at our work, and the place I work at, and it just was not fun to watch. Brady and the Bucks just dismantled the Eagles, and it's just like, why do we have to watch this? It's awful. It's an awful game. So with that being said, I put in a petition to go back to the old playoff formatting where we have 6 seeds, the top 2 seeds get a bye, and the 3 plays the 6, and the 4 plays the 5, and we only have a total of, like, would that be 4 games in the wild card round, 4 in the divisional round, 2 conference championship games, like I was saying, and then obviously the Super Bowl. So let me know what you think of the wild card games and the 7th seed in the conferences, the playoffs. Let me know what you think about them down in the comments below. And if you like this, and that's going to wrap it up. So if you like this episode, go ahead and hit the like button. If you like what we're doing around here, go ahead and subscribe. Still trying to get to 100 subscribers. And we'll see you in the next episode. Peace out.